All right. Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Breakthrough with me, your host, Tess Timmons. In this episode, I'm going to be talking to Tonya Barfield. She has a company, a nonprofit called S.P.A.M Outreach. And in Breakthrough, what I do is interview people who are living their dreams out loud in order to inspire others to do the same. And that is definitely what's happening with Tonya. And right now it is December. It's the spirit of holidays and giving. And I think that it totally represents who you are, Tonya, your spirit of giving and helping all the communities at large. So thank you so much, first of all, for being here today. And let's get started with what does S.P.A.M Outreach Program stand for, and how did you come up with this nonprofit company? And thank you so much for your time today. It's good to see you.
Hi. First off, I am excited to be here as well. I have been looking forward to this, to be able to present what S.P.A.M is all about to many multitudes of streaming. So this is definitely a great opportunity for me. S.P.A.M stands for Spirit, Purpose, Attitude, and Motivation. It is inspired to mentor and work with young girls 11 to 23 years of age. The reason why I chose that particular name is because when we think of S.P.A.M, we think of things that we don't look at, things that we throw away, and things like that. So it kind of represented a lot of things that are going on in our community. So I was like, okay, fine, S.P.A.M. So basically, I came up with S.P.A.M because as an educator myself, being in the education field for over 9 years, working with different backgrounds, different areas and communities, I decided to say, you know what better way can I give back to the community as a African American woman who also had challenges growing up and coming from background of being discriminated against and also being discriminated against color, discriminated as a woman and things like that. So I was like, what better way to give back to community to show other young women that in spite of our setbacks, in spite of our difficulties, that we can stand up and rise. So I wanted to create a program for young girls to let them know, like, you matter, you are enough, you are someone. A lot of time our young girls are so caught up in YouTube, our stars and things like that, to give them a different perspective of how they should be carrying themselves as young women. So I wanted to put in a narrative out there to show them other than singing, dancing, and entertainment, that is other ways you can go into education. You can be a doctor, you can be a lawyer. Those opportunities are out there for you as well. So creating this program sets the avenue for them by mentoring them, creating workshops, doing events for them, not only just learning about self-care and self-awareness, but also being able to work in a group of diversity with other different cultures, because a lot of times young women tend to hide things inside and things can be going on with them, but they don't have a safe space to be able to let all of those things out. So I wanted to create an environment that allowed them to be able to be themselves, to know that they're enough and that someone really does genuinely care for them. I created the nonprofit when I started out. It has nothing to do with money. It has something to do that was dedicated from my heart, from within. I genuinely love and care about education and children. So I wanted that to radiate out in my program. So no one donates to me. Everything is out of my pocket. And remember, I'm an educator, so we don't make that much. So, but I'm grateful to do it. I believe God gave me um this spirit of mine, and no matter what I go through, no one can take it away from me. Even if I try to get away from the program, he brings me right back to it. So I was like, you know what, let me go full force in it to see what way I can better my community and other communities as well, because it's not just about the Black and brown community. I cater to the whole community itself. So we have Black, brown, Hispanic, Caucasian, Asian, Samoan. We're just a big diverse program, and I love it. And I'm looking forward to the things that it is going to do. And I am open to suggestions, ideas, ways to broaden it even more. So anything can help. So send your information.
Right? Okay, you just mentioned a slew of information, and I want to dive into all of it. Later, I'm going to go backward and find out like how you started your program. But I think because you started talking about um, your program and how it can help teens, I want to dive into it a bit more first. So you're saying that you focus in on girls. First of all, I think it's beautiful that your company is so mindful in the name itself, right? I think that when people are starting a nonprofit, starting a company, really think about like, what is the name and what am I trying to push out into the world? So I think that it shows so much about your spirit and your depth of thinking about spam and toss out and then switching it. When you're talking about young women, you're saying a lot of them are looking at YouTube and being a dancer and putting on all the eyelashes, right? We hear about a lot of this stuff. You and I are both in education, so we see our teens and how they've changed over the years. What are you finding currently that are the needs, and how does your program help bridge those needs or help these teens?
Um, I see a lot. Like you mentioned, like the girls with the identifying who they are. They're trying to find a way. They're trying to see where they fit in. So we also see a lot of bullying amongst each other. So those type of things. So in the program, we give them different avenues of how to be able to handle themselves as young women growing up in a society that is so toxic, so damaging, so hurtful, things like that. So we give them little ways to be able to maneuver as young women going out into the world. So we teach them about how to look at things in a different perspective. Maybe, you might see a bully or someone's being bullied, someone who's bullying you, and you take it as, okay, I'm going to react to that. And reacting to that could be something as far as with being physical with that individual, not knowing that being physical, you can get hurt, that person get hurt, someone can go to jail or whatever the case may be. And as young kids, when they need to understand that when it comes to things like that, it's not just about them, it's also now my parents is involved, now that is going to be another problem. So it's a whole multitude of things that can come about just because if we're just reacting and we're not thinking. So just giving them a better perspective of how to respond to daily life. You might have some kids in our program who don't know how to navigate getting along with their siblings, because you have younger ones, parents had them, at an older age. So now they're trying to, be mom and dad as well to those siblings. So being able to still give them avenues to be able to navigate as being an older sibling with an older parent and having a younger sibling. So being able to navigate against that. We have kids who are dealing with their grades are not how they want them simply because maybe they have a teacher that's not diving into them to see, how can I help them? How can I get this student resources? Especially in education, we have a lot of things where people say, oh, the kids are bad. They're bad. They're bad. We hear that a lot. But in all actuality, they're not bad. They're misunderstood. They're misguided. They're looking for attention, and they're looking for someone who genuinely cares about them and can be that little placeholder for them in their time of need. So that is something I wanted to create with my program.
That is so huge, right? Especially when we're looking at the fact that like most schools are packing in 30 to 40 students in a classroom. First of all, that's a huge issue in and of itself. And then if a teacher has a student who's reacting a lot in a classroom of 40, sometimes it is kicking that student out and calling them bad. But we have to really dive in and remember that the action of the student doesn't match their feelings. So a student might push their chair away from their desk and misbehave, but really they're sidetracking from the issue of I can't read right now, or I didn't sleep
Yes.
last night, or I'm hungry. Yeah. What school districts are you working with? When does your program take place during the day? And yeah, when are you getting these moments to talk to this student, which is huge, about bullying or about looking at things from a different perspective? The other one you talked about too is siblings. I want to come back to that as well. These are huge topics with teens. Yeah. So what school districts are you in, and when do you get time to run your program?
I'm currently at Compton Unified School District as an educator there. So seeing the dynamics between going from one district to another, which I'm also contracted through Long Beach Unified School District for my outreach, which we meet every Wednesday from 3 to 5. Right now, we currently have a total of 25 young girls who are definitely involved in the program. We did a Friendsgiving for Thanksgiving with the girls. It was amazing. We had so much fun. It was a way for them to engage and mingle with each other. And then you have to remember we have girls who don't even speak to each other at school. So to create a program to where they can be able to, they don't know that they have things in common with each other. So setting
Mhm.
up that environment to allow them to be okay that I'm different, those type of things. So it's just being able to kind of like really observe and pay attention. And again, it comes from the heart. So and it's a passion. So it's not a job for me. So I always tell people, and I tell my mentors, like, look at it as a job or a passion, because a job, you're going to complain about it. You're not going to want to do it. It's just going to be all about the money. But for your passion, you're going to love it. So it's not going to feel like a job. You're going to enjoy it. You're going to get the most benefit out of it. Even if you might not be where you want to be right now, you're going to get there because of your passion is going to take you there.
So these girls, that's beautiful. These girls are willing to stay after school from 3 to 5 o'clock once a week. They're signing up. They're not mandated to this. They want to be there, and you're seeing the growth happen with them.
Absolutely. They come freely. I have girls who are very consistent. I also have girls who sometimes they have other activities going on, but they make sure to check in and say, oh, I have to leave at this time because I have basketball or have volleyball or things like that. But they're very consistent. I'm so proud of the determination that they have to want to be better. We even ask them little check-in questions at the end of the week, like, okay, do you find the program helping you be better? Can you see yourself changing by being in a program? And they honestly, which shocks me, they're very honest and open. Some of them say, yeah, I see it a little bit. Some of them say, not quite, I'm almost there. And some of them say, no, not yet, a little bit, but my mom said yeah. So things like that. So that right there alone, for me, that lets me know, like, at least if I reach one or two, I did my job.
Have you interviewed the parents as well? Because I think like that one teenager gave you that reaction, like, I don't know if I see it yet, but my mom sees it, right? Like, I wonder if the parent interviews might also help give some insight to that too. Because teenagers, right, we're kind of looking at a certain lens, but
Mm-hmm.
I think
Mm-hmm.
it's beautiful that they're open enough with you to even have those conversations. Very important that we interview the teens, right? When I was
Yes.
teaching, at the end of every unit, I would interview the teenagers, even while teaching a unit, and say, hey, is this working for you? Should I change anything? If I teach this next year, what should I keep? What should I not? So I think that's so great that you're like direct with your clientele, teenagers, asking them if they see growth within themselves. Yeah.
Yes. And with the parents, it's easy with them, because at the end of the day, we don't understand what they're going through as well as a parent. We have a lot of single parents out here, single women. We even have single dads. And sometimes dad has young girls and they don't know how to be able to navigate, okay, why is she so emotional? Why is she so this or why is she so that? So being able to have a program that provides the understanding not only for the students, but as well as for the parents as well. Because I do have a young lady who her dad is the sole custody of her. So, being able to help her out and help him out to be able to navigate and be able to talk to her and reach her in difficult times has definitely been a blessing for me.
That's so beautiful. That's really great that even the parents lean in and let you know what's going on at home so that you can hit all sides of it. You really care about the social emotional well-being of these families, right? It's the girls you're centered on, but also the family. You've told me as well that at Long Beach Unified, some of the teenage boys are like, hey, what's going on in this after school program? What's happening over there on Wednesdays? What about us? Are you thinking of reaching out, and the teenage boys themselves are contacting you saying, hey, we kind of want a program. How is that going for you?
Oh yeah, every meeting, especially when it comes to snacks and food and things like that. When they see the girls come in or they eating for Friendsgiving, we actually had a couple of young men be a part of our Friendsgiving. I invited them in so they can just get an idea of what was going on. And I love kids, so it was just like, okay, come on, it's no
Yeah.
problem, just come on. But as far as with my boys program, yes, I just finished my last paperwork for the boys program, and it will be the sister program to the girls program, and the boys program will be called MAPS. So it will be spam spelled backwards. So MAPS mean men with ambition, purpose, attitude, and strength.
Oh, I love it. Man, this is so cool. You're great with words. I love like company names, and obviously I'm a former English teacher, so I very much so I think words matter, and like yeah, that is beautiful. Okay, so I want to then switch into talking about, because you're talking about, oh, I have this paperwork I'm routing through to create this avenue of my company. Let's talk about from the very beginning. Tonya, what is your background and how did you decide? You said that sometimes you've pulled yourself away from the project, but God pulls you back in, a purpose pulls you back in. What made you first think, I need to start this nonprofit? Because I think that can help our audience when we're talking about living our dreams out loud and wanting them to do the same thing.
Well, for me, I'm a mom first before anything. And as a mom of five, I have four girls and one boy. So the ages are, my girls are 27, 25, 22. The 27-year-old just moved back from Arizona. She loves graphic design, so that is something that she's been diving into. The 25-year-old is a behavioral therapist that stays in Vegas, and she's doing very well. My 22-year-old is a senior at UC Santa Barbara, full academic scholarship, so I'm very proud of her. She's graduating this year. And then my 19-year-old is my son. He just graduated from high school. He is now will be playing football at Mount Sac. And then my youngest one is 14, and she is the kid mayor of the city of Linwood. But she's also a student at Long Beach Unified. So,
What? Okay, first of all, you are a hot mom. I know that sounds weird, but like, first of all, and then secondly, like, way to go! Like, you have successful children with drive. How did you? They're obviously getting that from you. Like, that is beautiful. So, congratulations on your family.
thank
That's
you.
so
Thank you.
lovely.
Thank you so much. Trust me, it for anybody out there that is a single mom or a single parent or just someone who don't know if they can do it, it was not easy for me. It wasn't. I mean, I dealt with homelessness. I dealt with domestic violence. I dealt with just like, just losing my drive for things. I dealt with depression, anxiety. And I just, one day, I just said, you know what? No, I don't want none of this anymore. I'm not going to let this define me. So I define who I am. And from there, I just went into always a go-getter. Like I've always dived into there. I started out with nursing. I did nursing for 10 years. I got out of nursing during the pandemic because it was just like, all the dying and the death and the sickness. I was like, I need some uplifting. So I was already in school for education. So from there, I have been an ECE specialist, early childhood education specialist before. And then from there, I just quickly just moved up in the education field. So I don't want people to think, no, I'm just some woman out here just doing whatever. No, this is actually my background. This is actually something that I've been doing for years. And this is my passion and my drive. So one day, I worked with a group of women that were entrepreneurs. And they brought me on to do a mentorship program with them for young girls, and it was at the Taste of Soul. And this was before the pandemic, and it was like 150 girls. So we mentored them on etiquette, just being young women, job hunting, interviews, and things like that. And I was like, wow, this is interesting. And one of my mentors that actually was a part of that, she was like, this is you. You really need to start doing this. And then I was like, really? You see me doing? She said, yes, the passion and the drive you have for this, you need to do this. So when I had my catering, which I still do on the side every now and then if someone asks for it.
When do you
you know,
sleep? When
no,
do you sleep?
absolutely. Like, when do I sleep?
How
so,
did you find these mentors as well? You're talking about like they help drive you. How did you find them? Because you've got this beautiful arc in your storyline, right? You start to get this drive. You're working in nursing. How did you find these mentors that helped bring you into these to the program with the children?
for me, I think they found me. Because it was during a time where I really didn't know what direction I wanted to go. And I was dealing with a lot as a single mom and as a woman as well. That was dealing with a lot of life things. Life was lifing. So they came to me. And then from there I listened and I watched. And I also was hands on. So it allowed me to not focus on what was going on around me, but would focus on what was in front of me. So that's what made me go deeper and have this drive that I have. That's why I'm constantly busy. My mom always say, you need to sit down. You need to take time for yourself. And I'm like, Mom, when I get an idea, you already know it's like I have to see it through. That's just me. So, and it doesn't matter, if you have money or not. I don't want no one to think that you have to have money to get started. You don't. All you got to do is have an idea, write it down, create a proposal, do bullet points, create a vision board, create a prayer board, all those things. It's not going to happen overnight. I mean, mine's is not happening overnight. It's just happening, and I'm grateful for the little victories. Always be grateful for the little ones because it always helps you get the big ones as well.
So when you started this nonprofit, you had worked with your mentors, you were around these students, and then did you start that? You wrote your idea down, you started it with a vision board, and then what was your next step after that? How do you actualize this dream state?
Actually, when I started, I didn't write anything down. I was pretty much just going off the fly, like, okay, I want to do this, I want to do that. And it was just ideas that was coming to me. When I started out, I had attached a youth organization to my catering company. And
Mhm.
from there, I just did, when I was doing my catering, I would do a toy drive. I would do fundraisers. I would do a turkey giveaway. And I started at school, at my job where I worked. I was a pre-K teacher, and my first turkey giveaway was with my class. I put all my kids' name in a raffle. Me and my co-teacher donated to the basket to give to that family that won. And from there, I was like, this is me. This is where I need to be. And I just love people. So, and I love see people win, and to be happy and to see the smiles on kids' faces, to know that it's someone that cares about them. Because I didn't have a lot of that growing up, so it allowed me to pour that into my kids as well. And that's why my kids are thrive the way that they do, because it's like I'm very hands-on and I pour into them. Even when I don't have enough to pour into myself, I still pour into other people. So that's why I feel that where my drive comes from the most.
Yeah, that's beautiful. How did you then contact Long Beach and get this connection with them?
Oh, it was funny because actually, over the summer, it all happened so fast. Over the summer, I mind you, I was putting ideas together, and I was like, okay, I don't even know where to begin to get this program out here. Everything that stands with spam came from my blood, sweat, and tears. I did not have to hire anyone to create business cards for me, flyers, help me write the business proposal, to come up with a contract. I did all of that myself. And that's pretty much how it's been. Just like everything has been done by myself. Um, I'm grateful for the mind that I'm blessed with, to be able to navigate from so many different roles and still be able to be sane. And a lot of Starbucks. So, to still be able to do that. So what I did was I actually pitched the idea to my daughter, my youngest daughter, because that's the school that I'm contracted with, my daughter's school.
Okay,
So my daughter was like the spokesperson for her mom. So she actually went to the principal and was like, my mom has this girl program. I think you would like it, and I think it would benefit the girls at our school. So
cool.
she was the mind behind getting her mom in her school. So from there, I spoke with the principal. She was like, can you just send me all the information about your program? So I sent her the brochure. I sent her the mission, the vision, and everything like that. She looked over it. She said, okay, next week I need you to come present it to the school, to the teachers, to me, to my deans and stuff. Like, it was like a small
Wow.
group of them in a room. So I went on a Friday after school. I went to them. I had a whole PowerPoint. I gave them my backstory, everything. Before I can even get out the door, she was like, yes, we want you here. We need this program here. I think she was way more excited than me. She was like, yes, I love it. I can see big things happening. And I tell you, she has been the biggest support system for my program. And she was like, we're going to get you contracted. And I was like, oh, I'm not doing it for to be contracted. I just want to be able to get the program out there. She put in the request to get me contracted. They sent me all the information. I had to create a business plan and everything for them. So I did that same day, sent it in to them, and I started that following week with them. And I've been with them. I'm actually going into session 2 with the school district with my program.
That's awesome. I can see how the things you learned in your program or with the mentors that you had when you were talking about I'm leaning into yeses, I'm listening, I'm moving. So you're able to just keep saying yes and keep going forward. That's wonderful. When you were talking about the Friendsgiving, you said that you supplied the food. Are there's other things like when you're talking to teenagers and doing social emotional work, are you having them like work on something while you're there? Like what kind of supplies are you creating, such as like maybe they're doing food or maybe they're making a bracelet, because sometimes teens are able to say their emotions more when they're doing stuff. What kind of activities are you doing? Just because I'm thinking like people can also be donating to this as well, like you're supplying food, you're doing a Friendsgiving, you're helping in so many ways.
Well, with me, I create my own curriculum and lesson plan for my programs. So there is always curriculum. And a lot of the curriculum is on self-awareness, self-care, and being better as young women and young men. I also do challenges with them. They also have like little exit tickets that they do when they leave that day. They also, when they come in, they have a do now, and that do now might be was how was your weekend? Describe one thing that you could change for next weekend. And things like that. So definitely they come in and do work. It's not just all about just food and activities. They're actually learning things about how to be better as little humans. So that is something that I'm grateful of. As far as what activities we do, they did Thanksgiving bracelets. I try to do things before the actual like dinner or eating that they have. We do activities before that. So for the Friendsgiving, they did like the coloring of the turkey. They also made Thanksgiving bracelets. Me and my mentors got together and we bought them little Thanksgiving thank yous. So we gave that to them. The food was definitely provided by us. So it was a nice little Thanksgiving menu that we created for them and things like that. We had the parents sign a waiver to make sure that it was okay for the kids to partake in the activities. We also encourage families to come out to be a part of it because it was a Friendsgiving. So we
Mm.
opened it up to the parents to come as well. They just needed to RSVP if they were going to come. Some kids did bring other friends from school with them to the Friendsgiving. It was very, very nice, very, very engaging, and the kids really enjoyed it. Before that, we had a Halloween event where they just made pumpkins, they did scarecrows and things like that. And it was fun. We took pictures of them doing it as well. We have some of the stuff up in the classroom that we are assigned to. So we try to just always keep things in. I'm big on holidays and stuff like that. I'm also a big kid at heart, so we got to have fun. That's
That's
just what it is. We got
wonderful.
to have fun. Some of ours, we do also do something 2 Saturdays a month for with the kids as well, but that is open to everyone. It's not just open to the school kids, it's open to the communities. So and they can come out and sign up to be a part of SPAM as well, because we do have a community of kids that are outside of the school district as well. So we, at any event that we have, you can also bring your daughters out there and sons to sign up to be a part of SPAM. It is a free program. The only thing we ask is that the parents pay the $10 for the shirt that we provide for them. And that's pretty much it. Everything else is solely provided by me and my mentors.
And then on these Saturdays, is it different themes or different things you're working on? Yeah.
Yes.
So
So
this
one Saturday when we first started, we had a meet and greet in the city of Long Beach at a park where we set up everything. I did a live, the letting them know that I was there. The girls came out. They did TikToks. They had food. We played games. It was more like a mingle thing to get to know each other. They made bracelets. They did games. They did TikToks because they're still kids, so you still got to make it fun for them. So we did that. I introduced a program to them. They signed up that day and things like that. And it was open open to the any community, Gardena, Compton, LA, Linwood, Bellflower, whoever felt the need to come out and be a part of it that day. Our next event we had was a brushes and bonding event, which was a canvas painting. So it was at the park again. I thought that would be a good idea to do it again at the park. For
Yeah.
me, the park is like just reconnecting with nature. And you can be able to, it's an open space, you free, your mind is free to think, to wonder, breathe in that fresh air, and just be able to engage. I really love the park. So we did a brushes and bonding, which was very nice. The food was also provided, everything was provided for them, they just had to show up.
This is great because then a passerby at the park area could see if they're on their driving or on their bike to know what was going on. It sounds like there's so many different avenues to what you're doing. You're writing the lesson plans. You've got to do now the reflective part of like, how could you make your next weekend better than the weekend you had before? So you're really helping create that growth mindset. You're giving a teenager active voice in deciding how they want to carve out their future and create positivity for themselves. You're also creating community awareness and gathering. I think because of the way school systems are now, and I'm talking about a lot of security that goes into school systems, we have kind of lost some community. Parents, adults, members of the community, it's not as easy for them to access or come onto campuses anymore, which makes sense because of gun violence. However, it also takes our village and weakens it.
Mhm.
When I was running like school dances in Salinas, California, I wanted the parents to come inside. I want them at the end of the night to dance for a song with their kid. Or when I was running like fun activities and games, I wanted them to come in and play the carnival games with their children. But I was also told like, hey, it's going to be kind of difficult. We don't have fingerprints of all the parents and we don't know who's coming up to the door. But I think there's a way we could make it happen, right? We could bracelet certain parents and figure that out. But I think it's so key that you are having teenagers gather and their parents come as well. Because if I have an issue with Tonya at the schoolyard, we might not have that issue anymore if my parents know Tanya's parents. And then they're able to say, hey, I know Gladys and I know Tonya and she's great. So why did you try to swing a punch at her? What's going on with you? And when I was a middle schooler, I would go to my friends' homes and eat dinner at their tables. I had friends of all different ethnicities, genders, what have you. And I think that because my parents and their parents knew each other, they're dropping me off at their house, I'm breaking bread literally at their dinner table. It changed my life. And I think that you gathering them at the park is so beneficial. Your company seems so mindful in its practice. I could see future things of like, not only could you start these programs in different areas, you're focused currently in LA area, but you might be able to sell your, you could sell your curriculum program. You could go and train different school systems to take SPAM and start using it and an extension outside of the LA area as well. Yeah, I think it's great that you are helping so many teenagers in need. Yeah, thank you for what you're
Yes.
doing. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And yes, definitely we have to have the teamwork, the parent aspect of it too, because it wouldn't work without the parents. Because the parents is the ones who's trusting me with their young girls and their young sons. So I'm very grateful for the parents and I encourage them to come out and see. And we have parents who sometimes they show up, sometimes they don't, but they trust me enough to be able to know that their kids are safe with me. So they drop them off, they come back. I don't leave any event until the last kid is gone. So it's not about, oh, okay, this event is over, let me pack up, let me go. No, I need to ensure that all of those students get where they need to be at the time that they need to be there. So if that means that I have to stay there, that might mean that I might have to drop one or two of them off. It's fine. And I do have young girls in my program that I am responsible of dropping them off at home. And their parents trust me enough to do that. So I'm very grateful. I don't take nothing for granted. And I know the world that we're living in right now with so much violence and harm, especially to our young people, that, to be able to have that type of relationship and that type of trust with another adult for their kid is amazing to me. And I don't take it for granted at all.
Yeah, I think it's really important that I feel like in the school systems, it's kind of separated teachers and parents away from each other. We see them at back to school night. We see them once or twice a year. If they're doing sports, there's more connection. But I think that what you're creating is bringing us back to center and bringing community together. Yeah. What are your next steps, Tonya? What's coming up for the rest of the school year for your girls at Long Beach, and what are you hopeful for with your company? I noticed that you have a toy drive that's happening from December 1st through the 23rd in the LA area, but anyone can donate to that. You don't have to live in LA to donate to that. What else do you have moving forward?
Yes, we definitely have the toy drive that's currently going on right now. We're taking any donations. I will even come and pick them up if necessary, or one of my mentors will come and pick them up if necessary. We just want to be able to give back to those that are not able to be able to do as much as they want to do for their children in our communities. And then also, even, myself as a parent as well, like, I know it gets hard. I know sometimes we don't know what Christmas is going to look like, because society has put this picture of what Christmas is, and things like that. And a lot of times people get stressed, anxiety, and
Mm.
go into depression because they're not able to provide how they want to provide for their kids. So to be able to help that out a little bit is definitely something that I am working on as well. So definitely donations are accepting and going on right now. Something else we're working on for the school district, the kids are having we call it a spam Christmas. So pretty much they're going to have a taco bar. They're doing a gift exchange. We have little arts and craft that they'll be doing also as well. So that is something that will be going on December 17th at the Long Beach school. I'm also working on creating some other events to do on a Saturday. I've been kind of like letting the holidays like play themselves out, because I know people travel, go out of town. So I don't want to put no pressure where it's not needed. So I'm thinking coming up for the new year, there definitely will be more events. We're also trying to work and get sponsorship as well. I would love to take the girls to like the Rams game, Chargers game,
Ooh.
a basketball game, or just be able to, brighten their horizons, because some of our kids they don't even know anything outside the community. So just being able to show them different avenues, maybe take them to a movie theater, maybe things like that. But to be able to do those things, you need money.
Yes, yeah.
I cannot afford to pay for all those different things. I would love to, and I'm trusting and believing that those funds are going to start pouring in to be able to do more with them.
Yeah.
And like I said, we're always taking donations. We're always looking for sponsorship. So anyone out there that is willing to come and take a chance on spam and maps for our boys, please feel free to reach out to me or reach out to Miss Timmons, and she can get in contact with me. And definitely looking forward to bigger and greater things for the new year.
Yeah, and we're going to connect your all of your social media in this podcast, and then also your email, which is tanya.spamgroup@gmail. So all of this will be connected so that people can contact you. I think the partnerships are so key, and having young people step outside of their community so that they can see that bigger world around them is so impactful as well. When you're thinking of teenage girls and pouring into young women, uh, what would you like to say to a teenage girl who might be watching today?
Oh my goodness. I will say this: don't give up. Um, if you're going to be down for a moment. Don't stay there. There is always opportunity for growth, so take it. Always have an open mind, be willing to learn. Even the toughest things, be willing to learn. We're going to make mistakes. You're allowed to make them. And if anyone say that they're perfect, they're not. We're not perfect. We don't even live in a perfect world. If you need help, reach out to someone that you trust and get that help from them. Always believe in yourself, because if you don't believe in yourself first, no one else is. um Stay determined. Stay motivated, stay encouraged, stay positive. Use your affirmations. Get up in the morning in the mirror and say, I'm beautiful, I am strong, I am blessed, I am encouraged, I am better than I was yesterday. You know, those things, they work. Write things, journaling, write things down. The power of the tongue is dangerous. So be mindful what you say to yourself, because you will start to think that. You know, we are all navigating this crazy world. You know, it's a lot going on right now. So just stay true to who you are. Do not let anyone define you. You define yourself, and always remember that you matter.
Oh, that's lovely. Okay, and then also, if we are to speak to parents, you are a very successful parent, and you're also working with teenagers all the time. If what advice would you give a parent of a teenager, boy and girl, as far as how to navigate these years from 15 to 18, or like, yeah, what advice do you have for parents?
Ooh, parents. Communication. Always have open communication with your kids. I tell my parents, don't hide nothing from them, because they're going to find out anyway. Always be open. Having that open communication with them, it teaches them not to make the same mistakes. And we're not going to be able to protect them from everything, because they also have to learn as well. That's how they get their learning. And remember that they are given to us. They're not our possessions. They are given to us to be a responsibility to them. Put them out here in the world with good encouragement, with love, with guidance, with understanding, and also be able to listen. Be there to listen. Be a listening ear. Not always want to give advice. Not always want to, hound them and just make them feel like their opinion doesn't matter. Another thing, do not put your kids down. Do not put them down. Do not talk down to them. They get enough of that in this world today. We should not be the one to add to that. Also, if you need that extra support, you need a friend, you need a social group, find them to better help you with your children, because having teenagers is not easy. Even our younger ones are starting to blossom into personality at an early age. So if you need that help, don't be afraid to say you need that help. If you are also dealing with trauma and things that you need to work on as an adult, seek that help. It's going to better help you and your family as well, because we're women. We hold a big part in our household as well, more than the men. The men set the tone, but we have to also navigate that in our homes. And even if we don't have men in our homes, we still play multiple roles in our children's lives. So if we're not right mentally, emotionally, spiritually, then our kids won't be either.
Gosh, that is so true, right? Yeah, so true. Okay, so thank you for that as well. Is there anything else that you would like to say before we wrap up with our interview today?
Yes, I would just like to say to anyone out there, you might look at me and say, "Oh, okay, she's trying to get money. She's trying to do this." No, I'm just looking for an opportunity to be able to change what our communities are looking like. That's all I want. And if anyone out there want to join with me to help make our community better, then please feel free to reach out to me, and we can partnership and work to do that. I am not a, what they say, gatekeeper. I I love to be able to help and be a help as well. So anyone that's out there that wants to take a chance on spam, take a chance on me. Like I said, I've made mistakes in life. I'm not a perfect human as well, but at the end of the day, I know me, I know my heart, and I know what I stand for.
Yes, thank you, Tonya. Tonya and I have known each other for a while now, and I would, audience, love for any schools to contact Tonya and start the SPAM program in their schools. We see the growth, we see the need. I would also encourage, just like Tonya did, if anyone is wanting to donate their time and they live in the LA area, to come and donate their time and help support. If there are any companies that want to partner, we know that she's like, and maybe a restaurant donating food, maybe another company wants to donate to her events on Saturdays. That would be wonderful. I will advocate. I want Tonya to have abundance. So if anyone would like to donate cash and money to this nonprofit organization, thank you. If companies would like to do that, thank you. We want this to thrive. We want SPAM to thrive. So please reach out, audience. This is very important. And Tonya, just thank you so much for caring about women, for caring about teenagers, and for everything that you're doing. Like, it's so important to our world that we can make the world a better place and really nurture and help our young teenage women. It's such a
Thank
gift.
you. Thank you so much. And thank you for being a friend, a mentor, a listening ear, someone who's always pushing me as well. And just your understanding and your knowledge and your wisdom. I love it. I embrace it. I don't take any of it for granted. I really appreciate you so much. And to the audience that's listening in and watching right now, thank you so much for having me and for listening. And like I said, I'm here. If you want to donate, you want a partnership, it is definitely something that I am willing to do.
All right, audience, you've heard it here. Thank you so much for tuning in to Breakthrough. And if you could pass this along to your school, if you're a parent, please contact Tonya and help flourish SPAM. We want the spirit, the purpose, the attitude, and the motivation to flourish even further. Thank you so much for your time. Goodbye, audience.
Goodbye.